everybody. It's Mr. K back with you. Today we're going to be focusing on our first of double bass exercises in which we are trying to get the left foot working together with the right foot to form specialty grooves. Most of you think of double bass as metal or rock oriented only. That's actually not true. The double kick pedal is used in various forms of music, anything from funk, fusion, even some of your like country style songs, some of it has double bass work in it, or some of your more experimental type music. Okay, so what we're going to focus on today is just getting our left foot to work with our right foot. Okay, so at this point your right foot is used to doing predominantly anything you want it to do. Now your left foot, however, we've done some open hi-hat work with it, or even just some open hi-hat when playing grooves with the ride. Okay, so that's pretty much the extent of what your left foot has done. Your left foot has not worked with your right foot in putting together a solid 16th note pattern, or a broken 16th note pattern, or even 16th note triplet broken patterns. Now that's where the rudiments come in. Okay, we've gone over the Rademachew, the double Rademachew, and the triple Rademachew. So that is actually more for, you can use it in a groove, but it's exclusively used for filling. Now, unfortunately today, I have to get a bigger module in order to fit my double kick on there, because the electronics are not picking up the proper sound from the left hammer. So we're going to do these exercises with our open hi-hat left pedal, which if you have a drum set, you have a hi-hat stand which has pedal on it. And we're going to focus purely and simply on my feet today. So we're kind of going to go back and forth. But you can watch my feet and how they do what they do, so that you can better understand the exercises. Okay, so you see both my pedals. You have the kick pedal, which is your normal one, and then you have your hi-hat pedal, which is what you normally keep to keep your hi-hats closed. All right, well, we're going to work on some basic exercises here on how to do that. And if the camera can catch my feet just a little bit more. All right, fantastic. So here we go. We're going to start with some of our most basic rhythmic subdivisions, starting with the quarter note. We're going to do a set of 4 in each foot. So that means they're going to alternate. Okay? So we're going to start with our right foot, and then our left foot is going to pick it up. So I'll give myself a count. 1. We're going to do just quarter notes, all on the right, all on the left. 1, 2, ready, here we go. And Switch. Back to the right. Switch to the left. And stop. Now, many of you probably hear a little bit of a tick from my heel, because as you know, both of my pedals are only being used by my toes. Now, when I typically do my left, I'm used to doing a lot of hi-hat, open hi-hat work. So when I do that, I'm also keeping time with my heel. Now, this is not necessarily something that you'll pick up right away, but it is a technique. As you can hear, my heel is actually hitting the back of the pedal. Okay, let's move on to eighth notes. 1, 2, here we go, and. Now, if you notice in my right foot, my heel is also doing kind of like a tapping motion. There, you can see it a lot better there. Now we're going to switch to the left, and stop. All right. Now we're going to move to 16ths. Switch to the left and back to the right. Back to the left. All right, now we're going to try the same exercise, only this time we're going to alternate our feet. Quarters, eighths, and 16ths. We are not ready for triplets. Those of you that are already going, oh, I want to do triplets, we're going to wait on that because you got to get your left foot functioning first. All right, so quarters first, eighth notes, then 16ths. 1, 2, ready, here we go, and. One, 2, eighth notes. And 16ths. Okay, now the goal is to try to get your 16ths, your eighth notes, or even your quarters at higher tempos. Our 16ths we want to get to a certain level, and I'd have to actually check the BPM on this. This is a quarter note pulse. This is an eighth note pulse. Typically, when we're working on just straight 16th notes, we are gonna want to kind of keep that tempo. That's kind of the goal. You have to work your way up to it. It's just like our rudiments, but this is where you want to be. Okay? Because when we get into groove creation, that is the most typical double bass groove to do, which is straight 16th notes all the way through your groove. Now, there's multiple ways of doing everything at the top with the right hand and the left hand, but for our purposes, we're going to keep it very simple. Okay? So I'm going to use my right on the ride, obviously left hand on the snare, and then we're going to do straight 16th notes. So the first thing you want to do is get your 16th notes going. 1, 2, here we go. And we're going to try to put snare on 2 and 4. 1, 2, here we go. And 1. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. And there we have it. So, for this next week, I want you to work the subdivisions, feet apart, and then feet together, just as I've shown you. Okay? Any questions? Don't be afraid to let me know. Okay? We're in this together, and we're trying to get your left leg, left foot independent of the right. Okay? Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time, stay heavy.